a grip on their business and get a grip on everything that's going on after we came out of a whole lockdown and quarantine, everything. And Texas is one of the better ones at it, I believe. We're pretty resilient. So I want to welcome you guys on here. Like I said, I want to go through the sponsors. So tonight is our panel. We're gonna be talking about marketing, and luckily I was able to get a hold of Ron, Eddie, and Jason and get them on here for this panel. That's going to be our panel for the night of master marketers, because they all run businesses in real estate in the Houston area, but they run them completely different. And I want to be able to bring out, the diversity of their marketing and how they run their businesses. So that's what we're going to be talking about on the panel. And our sponsors for tonight, there's them, they're right there across the bottom of the screen, but we'll go through one at a time. Well, first one is Texas Real Estate Radio Network. This is also where our radio show, REI Wholesale Academy, is on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Jason, you want to say a few words about that, or you just want me to?
Go for it. I'm still eating dinner.
Okay, man, you enjoy that. So Texas Real Estate Radio Network, Jason and Rob Orfino. So Jason Bible and Robert Orfino, they put together the Texas Real Estate Radio Network and have brought together a good amount of influencers in different subjects and different avenues of real estate. Clay Cahoon is my co-host on our radio show, REI Wholesale Academy. As you can tell by the name, it is generally based around wholesaling. We do a little bit of everything in real estate, but our main objective is to share wholesaling information with you on that radio show. And that you can catch on the Texas Real Estate Radio Network, 1070 AM on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Jason and Rob are on at 9 p.m. every night if you want to catch them. We also have Jet Lending, who is one of our VIP sponsors also. Very good friends of ours. Eddie, you want to say any few words about that?
Well, sure. Thank you, AC. We've been around a while. We're 17 years into the asset-based lending. We provide funding for real estate investors only. Really come in about three flavors. There's our fix and flip guys, which we have an array of products. We have the long-term lending for landlords. I say we have it. We had it big time until pandemic. A lot of that went away, but it's starting to come back. We had a couple of webinars today with some of our capital partners on Wall Street, and we are on the way back with long-term lending for landlords. And the third flavor that we deal in is I would call it small commercial, small apartments, small office buildings, things of that nature. But we love our market. We love working with AC and Prosperity and being on his radio show, and we're just happy to be here to help guys. We have a great reputation, and we're here to help. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate that. Catalyst. Is anybody from Catalyst on here? I don't think we have anybody from Catalyst on here. All right. Well, they are a lender. They are one of our sponsors also. If you want, check them out. They didn't have anybody here to speak. They couldn't quite make it on time. But they are a lender and funder of real estate transactions also. Let me go. Quest Trust Company. All right. We have Haley Gant from Quest. No relation to Eddie Gant. No, I'm just joking. She actually is. But
small relation.
I don't know if you want to claim that or not, but it's cool.
I'll claim it. Yeah, sure. He's not too bad. For those of you guys who don't know, Eddie is my dad, kind of how I ended up at Quest Trust Company. At Quest, we basically teach investors how to utilize their old 401ks or IRAs to really, truly diversify outside of the stock market. And our clients use their IRAs to invest into real estate, notes, and other privately held assets. We do a ton of education. We've got a really big online event coming up on July 10th and 11th. It's a QuestCon Live. It's kind of our big online expo of the year. But we're here to help answer all of your questions. If you're thinking of starting an IRA, or if you've got an old 401k and you're really just kind of curious about all of your options, how it works, we do free consultations every single week, Monday through Friday. It's really easy to get a hold of us. I'll put my contact information in the chat. And if you'll have questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Awesome. Thank you. And I don't know if you know this, Haley, but I tell people Eddie is my father too. I'm just playing. I said, that's my dad. Awesome. Thank you. Investor Loan Source. Natalie, are you up?
I am on.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome. Take it
Okay,
on.
you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Perfect.
All right. Well, I'm Natalie with Investor Loan Source, another private money lender here in Texas. We got very similar products with Jet. We got your fix and flip. We got your long-term rentals. We also do some commercial as well. And for you guys that have always been asking us whether we have a loan product for a fix to rent, we have a one-time close product we just came out with. So say even during quarantine, we're still coming out with new products. So if you guys need to get a hold of me, feel free to give me a call, 713-904-3431. And always visit our website, ils.cash. And have a great night, guys.
Awesome. Thank you for being on here, Natalie. Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Real Estate IQ. Where is Becky?
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Real Estate IQ is about giving you the leads that you need to find your deals. So we have 10 different lists of motivated and distressed sellers. So you can find off-market leads. You can pull a list of absentee owners with equity, small apartments, or small multifamily, commercial, whatever you're looking for there. And we also give you access to the data from the MLS so that you can run your own comps or search for properties that are listed on the market at a good 30-40% discount. And there are more properties listed on the market right now than ever. There's over 43,000, I think, in the Houston area. So it's way more than I've seen since I've been doing this in the last 3 years. The other thing I want to tell you about, I'm really excited about, is our new online community. It's going to be a kind of a Facebook site just for real estate investors and everybody connected with that. So please join the community. AC is going to have a group there. I don't know if it's set up yet. Is your group set up yet, AC?
Shira was asking me questions about it, so I think she's in the process of setting it up, but she's probably not complete with it yet.
Okay, so soon AC will have a group that you can join, and you can go there and ask questions, network with other investors. You can find services that you need. Should be a one-stop shop. So please go and join. I'll put the information in the chat, and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, let me go. And we have Investopia Online. This is Ron Rana's company. Ron, you want to say a few words about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys know when I start talking, I don't shut up. So I'm going to be real quick. By the way, Eddie is the godfather of the hard money lenders. A lot of respect for that man, definitely, as for Jason Bible. So I have an immense amount of respect. I was in those seats taking notes. Now I'm on a panelist with them. So it's an honor for being here, AC. Thank you so much. My name is Ron Rana. I'm a wholesaler out here in Houston, Texas. We wholesale everything from single family, multifamily. We have land, mobile homes. You know, if you got an ex-girlfriend, we can wholesale that too. Whatever you got, we wholesale everything and anything. You know, we do everything from, like I said, $100,000 homes we wholesaled. Last year, our biggest deal was a $2.6 multi-million-dollar 120-unit apartment complex. So that was an amazing, amazing transaction we did. So kind of set the bar there. But thanks for having me on the show. If you guys want to be on our buyers list, make sure you you know, put it in your comments. If you guys are here from our wholesaling real estate one-on-one group, from my following on Instagram or YouTube or social media, drop your comments, ask your questions. This is the panelist right here, AC. Thank you guys, and thank you for all the sponsors for putting this together. I'm just here to be here. I have nothing else to do, guys. So thank you.
Appreciate that, man. Awesome. So we Expedited Capital. They couldn't be here tonight. They are based out of New York. They are a lending company that, like I said, they're based out of New York. They use a lot of Wall Street money. So there is no excuse for not getting deals funded. people are funding deals. Eddie's funding deals, ILS is funding deals, Expedited's funding deals. There's a lot of companies out there. Like you said, Eddie's the godfather. You're going to be here on the panel with us. So you have no reason to not get deals done in this market or any market, right? Especially if you're in Houston, Texas, because that's one of the hottest markets in the United States, and a couple other ones that Jason is doing that we'll be talking about here in a minute. So again, Cityscape Home Buyers is our purchasing company, our wholesaling company here. So all of our deals go through Cityscape Home Buyers as wholesales, and then we end up wholesaling them out to cash buyers all over the city. And sometimes we cherry pick some and buy them and take them down ourselves. Again, this is our panel for the night: Ron Rana, Eddie Gant, and Jason Bible. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to switch it to gallery style. All right, there we are. Everybody's on here. Eddie's on here twice. How did Eddie get on here twice? Oh man,
I'm double the
It's got Jedi ninja tricks. I'm telling you, the godfather of hard money lending is in the house. So I won't be surprised if there's like 4 Eddies in here. He's a Jedi.
Man, I don't know
Ron,
if I can handle 4 Eddies.
Ron, I have a little name for guys like you. I call you the young guns.
Oh, sir, thank you.
You guys got to pick it up. Well, sooner or later, all of us old guys are going to be gone.
Oh, no, you guys are here for a long time coming.
We're waiting to inherit everything, Dad. All right, guys.
What's up, Jay?
I want to say thank you to all of y'all for being here, because y'all all are doing big things and got a lot of stuff happening, which is why I wanted to have y'all on here, because with everything that's going on in the market, everything that we just went through with COVID and everything like that, now, you know, it's still around. Obviously, it's still there. Things are still happening. Whether you think it went the way that the media made it, portrayed it to be, and how bad it was going to be or not, or whatever the case is, we are coming through the other side of this now. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, right? We had to go through it. There's been adjustments in the market. There's been changes that have happened. And what stimulated me to think about this was the changes we're making in our business. So then I started like paying attention and just kind of being like, man, you know, who out there is really active in the business? And that's where you guys popped right, y'all were right in the forefront of my mind. Y'all are 3 guys that are really out there active in the business, and y'all do everything a little bit different than everybody else. So first of all, I'll let the Godfather kick it off. Eddie, just do a quick introduction for those most people know you, and most people know everybody on this panel, but give a quick introduction of yourself and kind of how you got started in real estate.
Well, June of '99 is the magical day, or month. My previous career was industrial, heavy concrete and steel construction. I was in the power plant business. Started there and then moved into the petrochem. And I was at an old age of, I don't know, 35, 36, somewhere in that range. And I thought it was old. And I walked in my job one day and quit. And I didn't have a backup plan. I was tired of corporate. And the next day I was in the real estate business, and I just jumped in both feet. Had some good people that kind of helped me along the way. I think that's one of the reasons I think I like helping people, because a lot of people helped me back in '99. Rich Drake with Renter's Warehouse was one of my first friends in the business. I think Rich kind of took me under his wing a little bit and taught me a few things, and a few others did. John Kubas is another one. But we just jumped in, and we were flipping houses, and we still flip houses today. And then in '04, I lured one of my buddies, Johnny Hayes, that everybody I think probably knows Johnny. I lured him out of the insurance business, and we started jet lending January 1 of '04 on my kitchen table. And that's been a good run for us, and we're still running with that company, and we love it. And we have some bad days, but mostly we have good days, and we love being in this business in Houston.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for that. Ron, you're kind of you are the young gun on this stage on this, but you kind of hit everything really hard. You hit the scene and really started making a name for yourself. How did you fall into real estate?
You know, my real estate story happened, it started many years ago. I bought a course from Carlton Sheets when I was around 16, 17 years old. I still had the video cassettes. And at that time, see, the new kid on the block is called wholesaling. We knew it as assignment of contract. And at that time, his commercials were running, you know, the whole make your money with no money down, no credit. I was really intrigued. So my background is I came from the automobile industries, 11 years in the car business. So two of the hardest things that wholesalers are not able to grasp, in my opinion, is building rapport and negotiation. And I used to train car sales guys to do that. And I did that for 11 years. Started off at the bottom of the bottom, you know, and just like, you know, I moved up the corporate ladder, right? You know, a salary is a bribe that's given to you to forget your dreams. And I thought a salary would make everything better. I walked away cold turkey, kind of like what Eddie did. You know, I came home, told my wife I quit the car business, and she goes, well, you know, everyone knows Kinza because she's with me. She's very, you know, at networking events with me and stuff like that. She goes, well, okay, well, what are you going to do now? How are you going to, you know, what are we going to do? Not what are you going to do? So she's been very supportive. Long story short, you know, I had that sick to my stomach gut feeling whenever I went to work. It just wasn't the lifestyle. You know, real estate was a vehicle that I always wanted to get into. And again, building rapport and negotiation was the two strong points that I brought in. And that's helped me become extremely successful, I believe, especially in this industry.
Awesome. Okay, good. People from the car business seem to adapt to this really well. You know, it's
a bunch of slime balls.
That's messed up. So Jason, so tell us a little bit about how, you know, I know you came from a corporate background also. What led you to real estate?
Yeah, I was the risk manager at the University of Texas Health Science Center. It was my last real job, and I did that for about 15 years. And I always wanted to start my own business, and I had done a handful of single-family real estate deals, and I liked it. And so, I mean, a very similar story to the rest of the guys. I just quit one day, and actually it was July the 4th. It was Independence Day. It was technically my last day at my employer. So I quit that day, and the next day we were off to the races buying houses. So first year we bought 67 houses, and that second year about 90. And we're doing about 100 doors a year now, mostly in the Airbnb and small apartment. And then we do some single family too, but mostly it's Airbnb and small apartments.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So another corporate person finding their way to freedom in real estate, right?
Yeah.
Where else do you get to wear shirts like that and just chill?
I know. And I got a pair of shorts on and I'm dressed up today.
Well, at least you're wearing shorts.
Yeah.
So guys, so like what I want to ask y'all first of all, after, you know, y'all explained how y'all got into real estate, is what I'm seeing is the mindset of marketing is big, right? You know, not everybody grasps the mindset of marketing and talking to sellers and, you know, like everything that goes along with marketing. So I kind of want an idea of what do you think is one of your biggest views on the mindset of marketing that you think has pushed you to being a good marketer in the business and being able to sustain your business by whatever marketing form you're doing. But what's the mindset behind that? Does that make sense? All right, Jason.
Yeah, who you want to go first?
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think that I'm going to say something that people think I'm a hypocrite when I say it. Change. You got to be willing to change. You got to be willing to adapt to the times. I'm old school. I'm not a tech guy, but I've been blessed and maybe smart enough to hire sharp young people around me that are. And I mean, the way we market today is not the way we marketed 20 years ago. It's not the way we marketed 10 years ago. It's not the way we marketed 2 years ago. So yeah, I think you got to have the mindset. You got to adapt and change to keep up. Because there wasn't Jason Bibles and Ron Rana's around when I was in this business 20 years ago. Now there are, and there's a lot of really, really good people out there, and a lot of sharp people. And a lot of us are friends with our competition, which is kind of cool around here. People don't realize how lucky we are in Houston. It's a close-knit industry, and you don't find that AC and Ron with me on that. I don't find the majors around best. Just have to be that you got.
You're kind of breaking up on us there, Eddie, a little bit. Okay. So yeah, no, I agree with that, because if you're still trying to market the same way as somebody was marketing 20 years ago, you're probably having one heck of a time making things work right now. You always have to be on that edge, right? That's part of marketing. That's a very big point that I noticed also. Jason, what do you think? What's the biggest mindset that sets you apart that helps you in the marketing for your business?
I think one of the biggest challenges I see with a lot of real estate investors is they try to market to any and everything that looks and smells like a deal to them in this marketplace. And Houston is 10,000 square miles. It's 100 miles by 100 miles. It is gigantic. And I think it's one of the biggest mistakes. People are always looking for, well, you'll hear this, and you guys have heard this 100 times. Well, let's say they're meeting with Ron. Ron, when you want to wholesale me some deals, and Ron goes, great. So what kind of areas do you do? What kind of deals are you looking for? And someone says, well, I'm just looking to make sure the numbers work. And I'm like, that's not going to be successful long term. Like, the most successful people I see in this business that are not full-time like we are, typically pick a little area, and they're landlords, or they're flippers, or they're wholesalers, or they're buy and hold guys, or they're Airbnb, or whatever it is. And they get really good at that niche. You know, you can't, the people who make the most money in this world are not generalists. They're specialists in certain areas. So my mindset is always, when I'm working with somebody, is like, what are you trying to accomplish? Now, what is it we need to market to in order to get the results that you're looking for? So I think once you start with, again, it's old Stephen Covey, when you begin with the end in mind, oh, I'm trying to buy 10 rental properties this year. Great. Do you have the time to drive all over the city of Houston? No. All right. Where do you live? Where do you work? All right. Let's draw a circle around there, those two places. And we're only buying property. No matter how good the numbers look, you're only buying property around here. So that's really, I think, the big deal with the mindset is really focus in on what your goals are, and don't get the squirrel syndrome, right? Where you're, or the golden object, you're always chasing the next thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because a lot of people don't think about that. Like you said, when you're in it full time, it's different, because, like, you know, and even then you need your niche. But a lot of people that are trying to quit their job, and they have their engineers, CPAs, whatever it is, and they're like, I want to do something on the side. And you can't be looking at properties in Freeport when you got a job to go to and you don't have a lot of time to move around. So it's real good to sit down and have your area. Ron, so what do you think helps you with the mindset toward marketing? Like, what is a big shift there for you?
So I agree with both Eddie and Jason when they, you know, and you, AC, when marketing's all about the mindset, right? You either look at marketing as an investment or an expense. That's the biggest thing with investors, right? I noticed what makes wholesalers successful, you know, hey, Ron, man, I got to spend $5,000 this month. I'm like, spend? No. You got to invest $5,000 or $10,000, right? And I agree 100% with what Jason says, is that, you know, you got to find your niche. Believe me, you know, a lot of buyers come to us and say, hey, I'm looking at only Briar Forest. I'm looking at only non-flooded in Briar Forest. I'm like, dude, it's not going to happen. Half of Briar Forest flooded. Like, you know, so I'm telling my disposition manager, send him everything. Send him everything in LaPorte. I don't care. You never know what he's going to buy, right? But at the end of the day, you know, it's about finding your niche. Marketing is an art. It is truly an art. It depends on the investor. Either you see it as an investment or an expense. If you see it as an investment, it'll pay you back tenfold, right? If you see it as an expense, of course, it goes back to your mindset. So as far as if we're, you know, shopping for probates, if we're shopping for high equity in-state or out-of-state owners, that's a golden nugget, guys. If you're looking to market, that is a niche list that we market to, okay? So I agree with both of them 1,000%. It's all about either it's an investment or expense. You decide and run with it.
Awesome. Yeah. And just to kind of top off all that with y'all is like, I see a lot of people like Ron was talking about, it's either an investment or a cost in your mindset. And the people who see it as an investment and see it as running a business, that makes all the difference. You know what I mean? Because like if you're trying to get into real estate and you're looking at everything and you're like, oh wow, you know, this is going to cost me this much. It's what is it going to bring back to you? You know, right? It's what it brings back to you. And you're never going to be able to run it as a business if you see it that way. You know, do you think McDonald's sees their marketing as just a cost? It's an investment because they know they're going to bring more people in. So no, I really like that. Really like that.
McDonald's in the real estate business. They're not in the burger business.
Well, that's true too.
Ray Kroc was smart.
Estate.
Yeah, and there you go. So,
Eddie, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you have you're a little. Are you breaking up? Oh.
Can you?
I can hear you, but you're kind of crackly. You're kind of breaking up here and there.
AT&T. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm on hardwire.
Okay. Yeah, you're kind of breaking up right there.
You want me to try to and go to one of the guys and I'll try to switch?
Yeah, if you want to try to switch, and I'll start off with Jason on this one, and then give you time to kind of try to switch. Okay, Jason. So all three of you are like have different kinds of businesses, right? Like, tell me a little bit about what your business is and the marketing you're doing for that business, because like some of you are running like big marketing, like whole marketing campaigns. Some are word of mouth. Some are other different things. So what would you say your business is about, and how are you marketing for it?
You know, it's interesting because Rob will tell you, and I agree with this to a certain extent, and that is we're a marketing company first before we are a real estate company. And our marketing is really our radio show and our Facebook presence. We get leads from all over the place, and a lot of times it's specialized stuff. It's, hey, you guys buy down in Corpus Christi. Here's everything from Corpus. Like I think I get all the deals from Corpus Christi before anybody else does at this point. Now there's only like 3 wholesalers down there, but I mean it's kind of that, you know, we get a good look at a lot of that stuff before some other folks too. And then you know, everything down in Surfside and Freeport, I think I get a look at that before just about anybody else does in Houston, just because we have such a presence down there. In fact, it looks like we're going to buy another beach house down there, possibly get it under contract this week. So and small apartments, that's another one where we just kind of developed this little niche where, you know, stuff that's above 5 doors to about 50, they come across our desk all the time. So I think part of it is just letting everybody know what our niche is, and we do that through our radio show, and we do it through our events that we host and all that sort of thing. So I think people greatly discount having a presence in the marketplace, how much value that brings to you in the future. So part of this is it's just being persistent in the marketplace, and it takes like 5 to 7 years to really get there. At least that's what I found, until everyone kind of knows you and goes, oh, well, these guys buy this and those guys buy that, and it's really a 5 to 7 year play. So for us, I mean, I don't run the big $100,000 marketing budgets I used to a month to flip, you know, 10, 12 houses a month. I mean, we're talking about getting back into that space, but that's not really what our focus is. And I much prefer this version better. In fact, when you build a brand, when you call a real estate agent, and we have agents that represent us, we have a team inside of EXP, and when they call, hey, we're calling on behalf of the Mr. Texas real estate team, and a lot of those agents have heard of us. So not only have they heard of us and our offer gets put to the top of the pile because they know we can close, a lot of times our offer is not the highest one. So it's not only getting the deal under contract, it's getting the deal under contract for a number that makes sense. You guys make offers all day for a living, and I'm sure you get well, I've got another offer for $200,000, you offered 100. You're like, there's no way you got enough. You have an offer for 200 that's not going to close. So a lot of times we can circumvent that process by saying, hey, we just closed 3 more this week. I mean, you want us to buy yours 2 weeks from now or not? But we will actually close at this number. So that's really been that's kind of how our business works on the marketing side.
Okay, awesome. Eddie, you there? Are you back or?
Okay. But I'm hardwired. I'm on wireless.
Okay, all right. It sounds a little bit better. So give us an idea of what your business is like and what kind of marketing you do. Because I know you run. You're part of Homevestors. You're one of the one of the big dogs in Homevestors here in Houston.
Yeah.
I think you're probably one of the first ones here in Houston. I don't know who is ahead of you, but y'all run major marketing campaigns. What is that like, and what are you seeing there?
Being part of French network is a lot different. All our here's also I can tell you we go about $1,000 just a few years. So you just limitless resource.
Oh, Eddie, we can't hear you. Like we're catching like every fourth word.
All right, I'm sorry.
No problem. I'm gonna jump to Ron, and then maybe I don't know if you have a better area you can walk to wirelessly. Maybe I don't know.
I'll try.
Okay.
You can try calling in. I think the phone, if you call in, we'll be able to hear him instead of his name will still appear, but if he calls in on the phone, we could probably hear him better.
Okay. Eddie, if you want to try to dial in on that number or do it on the phone, that might work too, like Ron was saying.
Right, let me see if I can find that number. Okay, hold on.
Okay, awesome. So Ron, I know. So like I said, you're one of the young guns out here, and you hit the scene really hard. And I've seen you go through a couple of stages already. You know what I mean? In your young career, like you've already seen some stuff and had to adjust and pivot on some things. What does your business look like now? And what kind of marketing are you doing and being successful with?
So pre-COVID-19, I have, we're based out of the Energy Corridor, Eldridge, Briar Forest, right? We've got a team set up, COO, disposition manager, acquisition agents, transactional coordinators. We are an actual full-fledged wholesaling operation. Post-COVID-19, I'm noticing my employees are a lot more productive working from home. So I'm like, hey, why don't you guys just work from home now, right? So it's funny how that works out. With all due respect to Jason, he said it takes 5 years. Listen, man, Ron Rana did it in less than 3 years. Maybe let's go. So, building a presence is very important. I agree with Jason wholeheartedly. Building a presence is huge. The reason why I was able to catapult is because of social media, brother. That is it, right? I built Facebook up, and then I concentrated on Instagram, right? I built that up. I think now we have, in a couple of months, we should hit over 100,000 followers. I'm at 60,000 currently. And, we tell people what we do on our Facebook groups, right? Wholesaling Real Estate 101. We say, hey, if you got deals to dispo, send it over. Although we are very acquisition heavy, my company's still doing acquisitions. My niche from day one, literally day one, my niche was always selling deals for other wholesalers because I was such a master negotiator, right? I did reverse wholesaling. I went and I built a buyer's list first, and then I brought the deal, right? And that's the biggest key to my success. And a lot of people don't talk about that in this industry. They said, hey, go out and talk to sellers. Go burn yourself, right? And go see what you can do and get as many no's as you can. I worked it the other way, and I'm a big advocate on if everyone's going, the other way, I'm going to go this way, right? So, and that's definitely the biggest thing. As far as pivoting, you are absolutely right. From running a wholesale company to having a call center in the Philippines with callvirtuals.com, shameless plug. Sorry guys, I gotta have my guys out there. So shout out to my call center, right? We have to build a brand again, right? No one understands, and I'll be quite frank and honest, and Jason is right. It's all about social media's presence. Nobody, everyone recognizes Investopia Online, but they know Ron Rana. So that's how I built my brand. You know, people, again, right, networking events, coffee and contracts. It aligns with a lot of the networking events out in Houston that we do for people. And one of the biggest one of the biggest secrets that I wouldn't call it a secret because there's no secrets in this industry, but I brought a lot of tactics from the car business, right? And if Jason said that, you know, he was saying that, hey, someone has an offer of $200,000 on a $100,000 house, I tell them, hey, if you give it to me in writing that another company has given it to you, I will guarantee you I'll beat it by 10 grand, no matter what, right? I want to see what that other dealership is offering, right? I want to see what the terms are because it could be a subject to deal. We don't know yet, right? Especially right now, the niche that we're actually running into is we're not buying houses that are, you know, full price. We're buying properties that are subject to the mortgage, right? Sub-2 deals, creative financing, all this hoopla about, you know, forbearance and, hey, go get a forbearance. Don't pay your rent. Don't pay your mortgage, right? Although Fannie and Freddie said that you don't have to pay it back all at once, guess what's going to happen? All these homeowners are no longer going to be able to catch up, quote unquote, catch up, right? So whenever we talk to a homeowner, they said, oh, Wells Fargo got my back. No, Wells Fargo got Wells Fargo's back. They don't got your back. Trust me on that, right? They'll put your house on the chopping block real quick. And it's about educating the consumer. I tell my sales guys, I said, listen, first things first, you're not in the business of buying houses. You're in the business of being a problem solver and a solutions provider. Provide that solution to somebody, right? Listen to the story, build rapport, and 9 out of 10 times, people will sell you their house because people like to do business they like and trust. Make sense?
That's perfect sense. That's exactly what it is. Eddie, are you there? Can you hear us now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you good now. All right. Yeah, no.
Man, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I'm on a wireless laptop, AT&T. It just wasn't getting it.
Oh, man, calling out AT&T, man, that's cold. All right. So Jason and Ron had good points of the way they're running their business and their type of marketing. Like I was saying a minute ago, is you're a little bit different. You do some of that big dog marketing because you're part of a big dog franchise, the Homevestors franchise. What is that marketing like for y'all?
Well, and what I was trying to say earlier, I don't know if you heard me, and I know JB will probably agree with this. It's so competitive right now, whether you're the big dog or the little dog. We watched our cost per lead go from $200 to $300 not very long ago to $800,000-$900,000 just to get a lead, and that's regardless of what you're doing. And I know our friendly competitors have been the same way, but we're pretty massive. We do billboards, we do TV, we do mass mail, we do still do yellow pages today. We do a lot of internet, pay-per-click, but it's relentless out there in terms of what you better be prepared to do. And it's not only getting the phone to ring or the email or getting somebody online that's a motivated seller. It's what you do once you get it, and I think that's as much attention. It does you no good to spend $25,000 marketing in a month and not know what to do when you get the phone call. And so I think it's kind of goes hand in hand, but there are so many people in this business right now. And I think that's the evolvement of the internet. It's the evolvement of HGTV. It's organizations that hold large webinars and large meetings and provide beer and food. It's all of that. And it just all kind of comes together. So it's really cool to kind of listen what these other guys, what I call the young guns like Ron there. But, you have to have a plan and stick to it. But it's what I find people get the phone to ring is what they do once they get the phone call. This where I think some of the younger investors will break down.
Yeah, no, I agree. You have to be able to handle and the acquisition process. Marketing is one part, acquisitions is the other part, right? If you can't have one without the other, they definitely are a double team there. All right, awesome. Jason, you there? I think you have us on mute, Jason. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, the dog across the street's barking. So.
Oh man. Yeah, take them out. Take them out.
Yeah.
So, what I know you said you're getting a lot of stuff off the radio show, so you're a little bit different. What kind of marketing budget are y'all having in effect for right now? Is it zero because it's all word of mouth? And that technically wouldn't be zero because you still have the cost of the radio show, but really, is it all like that, or are you spending any money on your marketing campaigns and budget?
Yeah, I mean, all my money goes to that radio show, which provides us other opportunities outside of just buying property. But our acquisition, and this is gonna, now keep in mind, I'm not flipping houses. So although we get a flip every now and then, but for the vast majority of this stuff, we're working directly with wholesalers and real estate agents, and in some case, private lenders who are taking properties back. So that's how we are building our business. There are plenty of deals. If you're doing buy and hold or Airbnb, there are plenty of deals on MLS. There just are. There's a ton of them out there. You've just got to know what to look for. We just picked up a triplex for $95,000. Now it needs about 55 in work, but gross rents are $2,700 a month. And it was just sitting there. In fact, the apartment complex we just bought, the 9-unit that's on the South Loop, was on the market for 3 years. So now keep in mind, where we really bring our value is construction. We buy stuff that just looks like it's about to fall in on itself. We buy some really big projects. So it's not something that everybody else can do. So you really look at how our company operates. It's, we do this bit of marketing where we're branding ourselves in the marketplace, but we also have a very good construction company my business partner runs. So, but yeah, my acquisition costs, I mean, if you consider the radio show with all the other stuff that we do, I don't do any direct postcard, direct mail yet. We're going to start doing that again pretty soon here because we're establishing these little sub-markets, and we're just going to start dominating those little sub-markets like in Corpus Christi, and there's some sub-markets here in Houston we really like. But you don't have to spend a bunch of money on marketing if you're not flipping and wholesaling houses. If you're flipping and wholesaling houses, it's a whole different ballgame. And Eddie hit the nail right on the head. I mean, it's brutally expensive, especially as you go online. It gets really expensive. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's getting expensive because the houses are getting more expensive. So it's attracting all kinds of competitors in this marketplace. Now, one thing that's good about being in Houston, our HOAs and our flood and hurricane risk scare off a lot of big investors. You got a different investor mix up in Dallas versus that you do here. But that still doesn't change the fact that it is very expensive to do business down here if you're looking for those 70% minus repairs deals.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find those. Yeah, you're going to be spending a lot of money trying to find those and drag those up.
Unicorns.
Yeah. So Ron, you said something a minute ago that you started out like, I guess, co-wholesaling, like reverse engineering your wholesaling business, where you built the buyers list first and then started finding other people's deals and selling that, and then having an easier platform to sell your own deals once you did acquisitions, which is awesome that you said that, because that's a lot how I started my business. When, like, literally I built the buyers list first, and that was back when people even said, oh, if you have a buyer's list, you're not even a real wholesaler. You know what I mean? Like, real wholesalers only need 10 people, and you got to find the good deals and stuff. So that's a shift that not a lot of people understand, is you can have the list and funnel the deals in from other investors, which I tell my mastermind students all the time. Start with the list, because he who holds the list has the power, right?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree 1,000%.
What other kind of marketing are you doing? What is your budget looking like, and what kind of marketing are you doing?
So pre-COVID-19, we were hitting around 20 to 25,000 a month. Okay, I was doing over 10,000 bandit signs a month, which we were doing crazy. We were renting U-Hauls, all those We Buy Houses signs that you see. Listen, people say bandit signs don't work. Every marketing channel works if you are consistent. Jason talked about consistency, right? We do a lot of cold calling. Again, I train my virtual assistants in the Philippines who are my employees. I have trained them for over 1.5 years. They've been with me, so they know how to really be ninjas on the phone, you know, get the commitment as far as, you know, who wants to sell their house, and just be serious. Again, you don't want your VA to negotiate. That's not their job. They're not gonna, your VA is never gonna be as good as you or your, you know, your acquisitions people. Because of just the language barrier and stuff like that, no matter what someone says. But at the end of the day, they get the job done. We do RVMs also, which is ringless voicemail, okay? And then we also do text messaging, all right? So we love those. The only thing that I do not do is direct mail. And I'm gonna tell you the method to my madness of why. Everyone and their mama is getting bills in the mail. They don't check their mail. The direct mail works, but you gotta be sending out, I'm talking about 40,000 a month just to get a prospective lead, right? And then another wholesaler tries to go, or someone else, you know, it's hard enough to deal with other wholesalers in your city, but then you got guys like these guys like Open Door coming into Houston, right? You got all these other companies that are coming in. And again, they're not really buying the houses that we are looking at, but that sets a presence for people who think like, hey, maybe these guys might give me more money. It's just like, you know, Julio's Pop Shop is selling a 2006 Cadillac, and then you got CarMax selling the same car, but people think if they go to CarMax, they're going to get a better warranty, which is not true. The manufacturer's warranty is the same across the board, right? Again, it's a mind thing, what people say, and this is all about educating. So post-COVID-19, we've definitely gotten a lot more leaner, which I'm extremely proud about. All the guys who said, hey, I spent $100,000 a month in marketing, you're an idiot. Especially in this market right now, you're just literally burning money. There's just no and ifs about it. You gotta find your niche and you gotta keep it lean, because guys like us who are actually doing the business, we can't afford to no longer spend that $25,000 a month in marketing, right? $20,000 in marketing. Now, our marketing budget has cut in half, which again, right, we have to go back and look at our books. COVID-19 has taught us a lot. It's taught me a lot, especially for being in this industry, you know, for quite a little over 3 years now, where when I was getting in, the market is great and all pre-COVID-19, right? All that good stuff. But then when COVID-19 hit, it really weeded out a lot of the bullshit wholesalers, right? And the bullshit investors, right? And that's the biggest thing is you gotta be consistent and you gotta watch your KPIs. If you are running a wholesale operation, or if you are running a investment company, if you're in the business of buying houses, you gotta watch your key performance indicators. It's gonna tell you what your cost per lead is. It's gonna tell you what it costed you per deal. Remember, when you're running an actual operation, I take in consideration my payroll also. So, you know, people see us, you know, although of course, right, we love to show our success online, say, hey, we made 40 grand on a deal, we made 20 grand on a deal, we made 30 grand, but I'm taking home only probably $2,500 of that. I've got, you know, I had large overhead. Again, right, it's all about cutting it leaner. And I can't think, like, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because COVID-19, you know, kind of brought us to it brought every single person out to the front and said, hey, you got to watch yourself. Hold on now, watch yourself, you know, because a lot of investors have died. I haven't heard, you know, a lot of the big players or the hedge funds or the Wall Street guys, right? Hey, we're buying everything and anything Ron send us. Next thing I know, the guy's working at Whataburger now. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, he's not in the game anymore. He's just not in the game. So that's where I stand.
Hey, Whataburger's pretty good, man. You got to be careful with that.
It is. I love what, but he got bought out by Chicago, so screw them.
Right.
Yeah, keep it in Texas.
Yeah, right. No, it's funny. Like, no, those guys get knocked out real fast. The BSers. Eddie. So, like I said, you're a little bit different. You got the big dog marketing. What does y'all's budget look like per month in your marketing and the types of marketing you're doing with that? Like you said, billboards.
Yeah.
You know,
They're gonna probably shoot me, but home investors in a market like Houston spend $250,000 to $600,000 a month. $250,000 to $600,000 a month. It's a big number. We buy probably as a group, we'll buy 120 houses a month, probably maybe 130. You know, if we get a package deal, it'd be more. But, you know, we went from TV and billboards to TV and billboards and direct mail and internet. And we still do some of the old-fashioned stuff, you know, like the yellow pages. You don't get many calls, but when you do, it's pretty good. But, you know, Ron and Jason raised really good points. I think they're pretty much dead on. Ron's comment on direct mail. Yeah, I mean, I'll buy a house every now and then, and hell, they got anywhere from 5 to 40 letters, you know, and I don't know what sets us apart. Maybe it's just the national name, but we seem to get our fair share of that. But the direct mail, you know, I mentioned earlier about change. You may not have heard you say that. I said you got to be able to change in this business. I mean, 10 years ago, we didn't do direct mail. We didn't. We were billboards and TV. And then we started, you know, with this direct mail, and it's been successful, but everybody else doing it too, you know. So, you know, it's a numbers game, you know. And I'd like to know JB's opinion on something I said earlier. He may not have heard me, but I said we watched our lead price go from $200 not very long ago to $800 to $1,000 now. Just get a lead. I'd like to know JB and Ron's comment on that. I know they probably watched that pretty close.
Yeah, I think there's, you know, when I stopped doing direct mail and internet stuff back in 2018, it was approaching $600 a lead. I mean, you could see it doubled we got in the business in 13. It more than doubled in a handful
in a short period of time.
Yeah,
in a short period of time.
It was fast. It was real fast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I agree with both of these gentlemen here. Absolutely. It costs us money to get a lead. That's why, you know, the fortune is in the follow-up. I tell my team, listen, follow up, no lead. We have a saying in the company, no lead left behind, right? Follow up. I'll spiff you an extra $300 if you save a lead, right? We used to call it a save a deal in the car business. Right? Save a lead. Hey, we'll spiff you an extra $300 on your paycheck if you call this, you know, client back and you keep following up. You show me in the CRM, in the system, that you have been following up. So absolutely, we can't afford to lose leads, especially in this day and age. With, you know, with all due respect to home investors, we got guys, other wholesalers now who are acting like, you know, they're big shots, and then it just, again, it's about educating the consumers. It's gotten so bad right now, AC, where people are giving falsified proof of funds. It's just nuts. I mean, they're going to besttransactionalfunding.com, and I'm laughing. I pull up, you know, we'll have an acquisition agent pull up a laptop in front of the seller and say, how much money you want? I'm going to give you a letter right now. The same, you know, so it's getting horrible out there, especially, again, it comes down to being ethical. You have to be, if you're non-ethical in this business, you won't survive long.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I've seen so many people come in this business and burn their name. The biggest, the main thing you have in this business is your name, which is your reputation and everything like that. And once that's gone, like, this real estate industry seems like it's really big. In Houston, you're like, oh man, Houston's so big. But I guarantee you, your name will spread like wildfire if you start doing some shady stuff. You know what I mean? Like, believe me, I've had calls with all kinds of people, and it's like, hey, do you know so-and-so? It's like, yeah, don't ever do business with them.
You want us to start naming them now? No, I'm joking. That's a joke.
First guy's AC RAMOS.
Right? Come to my house.
Well, I'm going to say this, and I know you probably got a lot of newbies out there. I said this earlier, but apparently I was breaking up, but people need to realize how special our Houston market is. I mean, you go to other major markets, Jason Bibles and Ron Ranas and Eddie Gants are not friends. Mm-hmm. You go to other major markets, and down here it's been kind of special that we all kind of we have a nice industry tightness down here, and you know, it's special.
Yeah,
I agree. Not many people have an abundant mentality at all.
Yeah, we got clubs in Southern California, New Jersey, and it is not like that at all. I can tell you.
I'm in the Atlanta market also. So we're in Tampa, Atlanta, and San Antonio, along with Houston. So, you know, it's crazy. Every time we try to, you know, network with other wholesalers, they're just not used to that mindset. Like, hey, you know, I had a wholesaler. Why do you want to work with me? I'm a new guy. You know, I see your YouTube. I see your following. Why do you want to work with me? I'm like, dude, it's collaboration over competition all day. All day. That's how you grow.
Yeah, no, I agree. we definitely have a camaraderie here that you don't see a lot of places around the country. I have a lot of friends in masterminds with me that, you know, they talk about their markets and they just don't collaborate, you know. It's crazy. We do have a market that if you're a newbie, there's so many people willing to help you, you know what I mean? And just that are good. It's that Southern hospitality, I guess, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I was just at Eddie's office like a couple weeks ago, and we were discussing business, and we had lunch and just sat there and talked and, you know, shot the shit for a little while and then talked our business and then hung out and then, you know what I mean? But you don't get that everywhere. I went over to Jason's office right after that. As a matter of fact, I forgot. I went over to Jason.
You're making the tour.
Yeah, he gave me the tour. I called you, Ron.
So you got lunch. He got lunch at my office and dinner at yours, apparently.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Somebody was hungry that day.
Right? Y'all had food, Jason? I missed it. No,
we did in that fridge underneath the sheetrock.
Right? So yeah, so like no, that people really need to appreciate our market, and we're in a good hot market, and you have a lot of people that are willing to help you. You know what I mean? I see a lot of people go to Eddie asking for help. People contact Jason all the time. Myself, I'm sure Rana, you're seeing the same stuff, right?
No, I tell them to go to hell.
Right? Like I ain't sharing my secrets with you.
Hell no. No, it's an abundant mentality, collaboration over competition any single day. And that's one thing that I was really impressed by, you know, by Jason and watching Eddie when they were doing events at the Redneck Country Club too, you know, very welcoming. And then Jason, when he would do his weekends, his events on the weekends, you know, he was the name. When I first started out, everyone kept saying Jason Bible. I'm like, who is Jason Bible? Like, I want to meet this guy. So I finally got, you know, they said, stay away from AC Ramos, but go meet Jason Bible. Okay. Just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. So it's the abundant mentality. Absolutely. You know, each one teach one. And that's the beautiful part about our city. And there's over 50 people on this webinar right now, and all these people are listening to us. You know, I like to say we're all humble about where we are and who we are, but at the end of the day, man, we're here to help. You know, whoever needs help is just the law of attraction. I mean, what goes around comes around. That's it.
Exactly. So it's about time for us to wrap this out. What I want to do is go through each of y'all and see what would be your number one piece of advice for marketing for somebody who's just getting started in the business. If somebody was just starting in the business, what would you tell them to do as far as marketing to start building their pipeline of leads and how they should attack that? I'm going to let you go first, Eddie, since you're the godfather.
No. I would say a couple of things there. You always want to mimic or imitate those that are successful, and maybe you kind of look and see who's having some success and mimic what they do. At the same time, start slow. You don't need to go burn a whole bunch of money initially. You need to start slow and get used to making offers and get used to going in and sitting in houses and talking to sellers. And it's just a whole array of things you need to get good at before you start burning marketing dollars. Start slow and get your momentum going. And I think that's awfully important. I have said many times when we come out of the pandemic that I think it's going to boom for us. It's for us, honestly, it's never really slowed a whole lot. It's slowed some, but it has not been the death curse that we thought it was going to be, in my opinion. I'll go quickly here, but I listened to Mark Dotcher yesterday on a webinar, and this is important. Mark Dotcher said, when this whole thing started, the fear of getting sick outweighed the fear of your economic situation. He said that has changed. He said now the fear of your economic situation outweighs the fear of being sick. And he's not just talking about Houston. He's talking, everywhere. And I think that's awful important. And he also said he didn't think, regardless of what happens, you'll ever see the government shut down business again, ever. And that was his opinion, not mine. I do agree with it. But that was a few tidbits I wanted to pass along of what Mark Dotcher said yesterday, the chief economist that everybody around here knows and follows.
Awesome. No, that's good information. And that's very true. I mean, just personally, I wasn't scared of everything, but like the fear of, when they were on the news and the media was saying like in 30 days, 60 days, everybody's going to know somebody close to you who passed away. It's like, man, money is irrelevant when you're worried about your family and loved ones, right? But now when everybody realized that, man, I don't know. I know like one person who actually had a relative that passed away from the.
I don't know anybody. I know one 29-year-old male in good health that got it. He said it was kind of a nuisance more than anything else, and he had to self-quarantine. He was out of it in a few days.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
It didn't turn into what everybody thought it was, and now everybody's like, man, I put off everything for that, and now I'm going broke, or now I need to support my family again. So no, I totally agree with that. Ron, what would be your piece of advice for marketing for anybody who's out here listening that's a newbie and getting started?
So the one big advice that I love to give newbies is consistency is key. No matter what you pick a niche, either it's, texting or RVM. Listen, most wholesalers, when they start, they don't have a lot of money. So I would recommend people driving for dollars. Okay. You get in your car, you go find the house that has the tall grass, the mailbox full of mail, the boarded up windows. You go drive around neighborhoods and you see those houses, so you can skip trace those properties, right? After you get them, you RVM and you text blast them, right? And that's the biggest thing. AC, I see you smiling, so that's the biggest thing I can tell people is be consistent, and just like you're saying, COVID-19 had a lot of people, afraid. And something that, Jason said earlier this morning, again, right, I look up to a lot of these guys who are on these panelists right now. Jason posted something that said, the U.S. will hit 400,000 deaths, predicted back in February. Go look at his post. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff that this man posts, as far as relevant to our situation right now, right? And it trickles down because the media plays games with the consumer. So the seller is like, hey, don't come to my house. I don't need to go to your house anymore, Mr. Seller. We can do everything. We're getting contracts over the phone. And that's the biggest paradigm shift that we had pre-COVID-19 and post-COVID-19. It's been much better. But the biggest advice that I would give brand new wholesalers is, number one, follow me on social media. Number two, be consistent. Be consistent. Consistency is key, and don't be afraid to ask for help, no matter what it is, because we were in your shoes one day also, right? Like I said, ask for help. If, there are times where we are busy with our life and our schedule, right? Because we are trying to run a wholesale operation, or real estate investment company. But at the end of the day, we're here to help you guys. We have an abundant mindset. Ask for help. Be consistent. Driving for dollars, RVM, text messaging. Everybody's on their phone right now. Everyone's on Tinder and Netflix. They're swiping left and right. Make sure you hit them up.
That's so funny. That's so funny. That's like, I was smiling because that's the same thing I say all the time is like, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Like driving for dollars is a great way to find houses. Even if you're not driving for dollars, just the RVMs and text messaging is such a powerful way and cost efficient to be able to affect people and reach them. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Jason, what would you share with somebody who's getting started as far as for marketing? What do you suggest and think is a powerful?
So Rob and I used to say, hey, go to all the real estate clubs, go to all the guys teaching classes, take every weekend $100 class you can. And now we've changed that and said, look, you can't wait. Like I saw the data very early on in late January, early February. I thought we'd be closed down for a couple of weeks. They managed this thing kind of like a natural disaster. And I'll tell you right now, we're still not open. Like go to any bar, go to any restaurant. We're still not open. Until we get back to, football and baseball and basketball and all that, this whole thing is still shut down. The reason that's important is because if you look at the hard numbers, we're only down 20% year over year. And the economy is effectively shuttered. I mean, I'm zipping back and forth between Sugarland, the Heights, downtown. I'm headed up to our new office on Hollister. Like I'm driving all around town inside of 30 minutes. So the city's still not open yet. It has been open for 3 months. And you would think that it would have a bigger impact on the real estate market, and it really hasn't. So what that is telling me is the same thing I've been saying for almost 3 years now. If you think real estate's expensive now, just wait. And you cannot afford to wait. If you're somebody that wants to buy real estate that cash flows, either as an Airbnb or as a rental property, you got to get on it right now. It's going to blow you away how fast these things appreciate below $300,000. You got to get out there.
Hey, JB.
Now. Yes, sir.
Hey, JB, Doctor said prices were going to go up for real estate. He did not say inflation was going to increase. He said real estate pricing is going up.
He
said it flat out.
There are no houses to sell. We're running out of houses to sell. That's the problem we've had for 10 years. And I can show you guys.
Can I give a number?
Yeah.
Let me give a number. The day COVID started, I circled the date on my calendar in my office, March 9th. The reason I circled March 9th on a Monday is on Tuesday, March 10th, they canceled the Houston Rodeo. March 11th and 12th, they canceled the NBA and the NCAA basketball tournament and all that other stuff. So March 9th, day I circled. Right along in there, not gonna say it was March 9th, but it was 10th, 11th, 12th. I wrote down this number, 25,044. That was the number of active single-family houses on the market in Houston, 25,044. Yesterday, I didn't check it today. Yesterday, that number was 23,500. So 25,044 down to 23,500 during COVID. We went down by 1,600. And if someone would put a gun to my head back on March 9th on that one, I'd lost that bet. I wouldn't have thought that would have happened. But it did. So in other words, inventory's gone down during this process. What's your comment on that, JB? It's amazing. It's crazy.
I literally thought, and you can go back and look at all my posts and stuff. This thing's going to be serious, and it's still really hasn't started in Texas yet. Like, we closed way too early. The whole idea was we were supposed to close the country down so that the healthcare facilities and the healthcare professionals could get everything up and running. That was the whole impetus behind this thing. But now we're 3 months into this thing. I never expected that in a million years. But what's blown me away is if you look at the showing, you guys go over to showing time and look at the showing data, you'll see those first couple of weeks, showings dropped 60% year over year. And then they shot back up. It looked like we were only at home for like 3 weeks. And then everyone's like, you know what, let's go buy a house. This house across the street from me sold, and they haven't even finished it yet, sold at $785. This one over here just went pending 3 weeks ago at like $570. It's not even rehab. So they're selling. Now, why the listings are down, my guess is maybe those people who thought they were going to put them on the market weren't. Maybe job transfers didn't happen. That I don't know. I'll just throw that into the COVID black hole. I'm not sure.
Well, we sold 7,000 houses in May. The previous year was 8,000. So they all want to say, oh, we lost 20%. Well, yeah, you did, but the country was shut down. You still sold 7,000 houses. You know, it goes back to what Doctor said. The fear of your economic situation is now outweighing the fear of getting sick.
Yeah, it still amazes me. I go out in this town a couple of times a week. I go out on the weekends, I go out during the week.
couple
times. Yeah, a couple times. So, but Eddie, I'm sure you're up there in your neck of the woods, right? You go to a bar and there's like, it's 10 guys there on a Friday night. You know, where is everybody? I mean, the country's still not open. We're doing a crawfish thing tomorrow, and I guarantee you we'll be the biggest crowd. There'll be 20 of us there. Yeah. So so in spite of all that, we're still selling a bunch of houses, which is amazing to me.
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody we should be up and running third Wednesday in July. We thought we were going to get it done third Wednesday in June. We could not get a deal struck. They wanted too much money for the facility. The RCC is shut down permanently, so we're homeless.
Yeah. Oh, you guys haven't found a spot just yet?
No, we don't. We thought we had a spot secured, and they want too much. There was too much money.
Yeah, which is funny because at this point it's like beggars can't be choosers, guys.
I guess me and JB have this offline. Sorry.
Well,
hey AC, thank you for doing this.
No, thank y'all for being on here. Because just a little top on that is like, you know, people don't understand that Houston, we're relatively young for a major market. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the East Coast or West Coast, you look at California and New York and and other places like that, the median house price is much higher than ours. We're like discount metropolis. If you think about it, just like Galveston is one of the cheapest waterfront cities you can be in, we're cheap for being a major metropolitan city.
Let me I want to add a little bit of anecdotal data to you guys. I think you guys will like it. Y'all know we got 6 beach houses down in Surfside. I'm trying to buy number 7 right now. Since COVID, prices have gone up 20%. And I think the reason they're going up is because people don't want to travel for vacations for a little while. So instead of doing that European vacation, they're just going down and buying a beach house. So we are seeing some behaviors that are changing, which is really interesting. Whether that occurs long term, I don't know. But we're seeing this really weird stuff. And to go back to your point, I think we'll be the 3rd largest metro by the end of this next census. I think we'll be bigger than Chicago. Because a lot of those people from Chicago, here's the flip side of this thing. A lot of really rich guys, I'll tell you, Elon Musk wasn't the only guy that was really pissed off at California. And I can tell you there's a lot of really rich guys in New York that are not happy. And they're going to start relocating those businesses right here. And I'll tell you the second thing I absolutely know is going to happen. Nationally, everyone is watching China. And the stuff that went on in China, they said, you know what? Maybe we need to move some of that manufacturing back to the United States. And where they're going to do that, the vast majority of that's going to end up right in this state, because this state does not screw around. You don't see riots out here. I mean, they let them play a little bit in Dallas, let them play on a couple streets over here, but these guys did not let them tear stuff up and burn it down. They kind of shut down Texas, but not really. You guys are in real estate. I was driving around looking at properties closing. We were doing all this construction. It didn't really stop for us. So I think a lot of really rich guys with really big companies were watching all this, and they're like, what state, even in the middle of this craziness that we've never experienced before, seemed like things were kind of normal? And it's here in Texas. So like I said, if you think real estate's expensive now, especially here, just wait. There are a lot of really wealthy businesses that are saying, forget all the riots, forget all the crazy stuff that happened in New York and Jersey and all that. We're moving here. We're going to move some of our manufacturing capabilities to Texas. It's absolutely
AC is right. I mean, the median house in California is close to $600,000. So a lot of these people, the reason why I know that, because one of our buyers who moved from California is now living in Houston. He's sharing this information, and a lot of our buyers are coming from California. They are, and we're listening to these guys on what they're saying. And correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, there's a lot more well-educated individuals on this than I am, but I love watching trends, and I'm all about everything, the numbers. I'm a numbers guy at the end of the day. Houston, we had our mini economy collapse during Harvey, right? What happened during Harvey? What happened? The entire city shut down. So that was a quote unquote mini economy collapse. And I think since we're such a resilient city, we were able to bounce back a lot quicker, especially in times like this, than any other city in Texas or even the US in general.
Well, that's absolutely right. Like I told my parents back in January, I said, look, you guys need to put all the stuff in that. You need to supply up at the house. And you're going to have to hold up for a little while, because we do definitely know that folks over 70 it's highly contagious, right? And very deadly. So till we know more, you guys can't go anywhere.
Hey, AC?
Yeah.
AC?
Yes.
My cricket phone's dying. I've only got another minute of prepaid left. I got to go.
All right. Well, appreciate you being on here, Eddie.
Cricket phone's dead. Cricket phone's dead.
Got to go to the kiosk and pay the bill.
Charge up those points.
Bye, everybody.
All right, we'll
Bye.
see you. So I think when you look at Houston, like I said, I thought this was going to be a natural disaster. We closed down for 2 weeks to a month every couple of years for a storm. Even if it's a small storm, we're closed for a week, and it doesn't seem to be a big deal. I thought, okay, we'll do this nationally, a couple weeks. It's still going to be bad, but we're not going to be closed for months, right? Little did I know they were going to close this thing down. We're still, like I said, we're still closed, right? So, but I think you're absolutely right, Ron. This city just shrugs that stuff off. And the reason we do so well down here is the jobs are here. In Texas, politically, things don't change really fast because they meet on that biennial. So it's a really good place to be. And we typically don't jerk businesses around much. So I think this was a huge win for Texas. We're going to see a lot of folks that are going to start moving here. We see a lot of businesses move here. I mean, Elon Musk basically said, hey, I'm going to Vegas or I'm going to Texas. Like I'm going to Nevada or I'm going to Texas. That simple. And my guess is he's going to put assets in both. We're pretty certain the Gigafactory is going to be here outside of Austin. And I can almost guarantee you the truck manufacturing is going to be here in Texas just because of the stainless steel that he needs for Starship. So that's going to bring 20, 30,000 jobs, probably another 100,000 just in, other businesses that are going to support his suppliers and vendors and that sort of thing. And like I said, he's not the only rich guy looking around going, man, I got treated pretty crappy here in California and in New York. Let's just go set up shop. And since we're already down, right, let's just move to Texas. And I think you're going to start to see that. I think I'll make this last point, and I'll talk about marketing real quick. You will begin to see legislation that comes out of the federal government that says if you're in a certain industry, they're going to require that you do a certain amount of manufacturing here in the United States. That's the easiest way for them to do that. If you're in some pharmaceutical, like if you have a government contract for something, some pharmaceutical stuff, medical, whatever, they say by X number of days, this certain percentage needs to be made here in the United States. That will absolutely happen once this whole thing is over. Now, with regards to marketing, I think what you should do if you're going to be a real estate investor, go get licensed. Become a real estate agent. If you can't wholesale it, if they want retail, great. Why don't I just go out and list it for you? I think we missed millions and millions of dollars over our career by not doing that. If I were to do it all over again, I would start my house flipping company, I'd start a brokerage, and then I'd start a meetup group. Literally day one. And the meetup group will let you raise money and sell deals. Obviously, your flipping company is where you do all your marketing and flipping out of. And then you've got this brokerage to sell everything retail. I mean, it's just a super easy way to package it all up and maximize your returns.
You literally just gave everyone a blueprint. Thanks, man. I'm going to write that down.
That's what we're doing. Watch what we do, guys. Just watch what we do. Just do exactly that. And you'll make plenty of money.
Yeah, and a point to what you were saying, right? Wholesaling is illegal in Illinois right now. It has become illegal. You can't wholesale. You can wholesale one deal, and then you need a license. Is because of the ethics, right? And me being the wholesaler that I am, we care about this industry, right? If you guys, if you don't think that you can bear the ethics, become a realtor. Just do the lines, follow the rules and do what you do. Because a lot of realtors who come to me and say, hey, Ron, I'm a realtor. How do I wholesale? And I say, well, you need to disclose that you are a realtor, but you're not representing the seller in this transaction. You're acting as an investor, right? And there's a lot of fine line that there's a thin line that you don't need to cross if you are a realtor. But if you don't have your license, please keep it ethical, guys. For the guys like us, I'm not licensed. Jason, I've been prospected by EXP a lot, man. I saw you jump the ship. You're on board now. Yeah. I saw that, so we might need to sit down and chat. But
okay, well, we can chat.
Yeah, I'd love to take a look at it now that I see Jason Bible's on board. I was like, let me see if Jason gets on board, then I'll do it.
I'll give you the whole behind the scenes story while we're doing it.
Let's sit down. That's perfect. I would love that. And AC, I think we all need to go to lunch and let's because that's extra income again, right? Multiple streams of income. But at the end of the day, guys, if you can't hold your ethics right, become a realtor. I'm not saying realtors are unethical, but they follow a good guideline of how to follow rules. So don't make it illegal for us, please, man. It's not going to make a lot of us happy.
I'm going to address this question real quick. Somebody said, why will prices go up? Buyers lost jobs, no income. I don't believe that to be true. If you look at the people, this is something John Edwards said during John Edwards and the John Kerry campaign back in 2004. He introduced the concept of two Americas. And I was reading an interview by the CEO over at Redfin. And Redfin basically said, hey, there's two Americas, people who can afford to buy a house and those who can't. The people who have lost their jobs in this country were never able to buy a house anyway. I mean, look at the people. Most of your unemployment is in the entertainment industry, in restaurants, in hotels, in hospitality. It's all that industry. In fact, right now, Rob and I are looking for deals in Vegas and in Miami because they're going to be the hardest hit. We knew that at the very beginning. And the preliminary data coming out is already saying that Vegas is down 50% already. It's ridiculous. So those are the people that got hit the hardest. Now, we also said, hey, because of the oil and gas crash, the luxury market's going to slow down. Guess what? What's in the HAR report today? Houses above 750, big slowdown. So you've got to look at real estate is on the margins, meaning only about 3 to 4% of all the real estate in the country is for sale at any one time. So who are the actual buyers? Yeah, there are people losing their jobs, but who are the buyers out there? And I'm telling you, there's plenty of people out there that are still trying to buy houses, still trying to buy affordable houses. Now I'll just leave you with this one last tidbit. All the data I look at, everything I've reviewed, we literally need a 2008 style crash, 10x. It's got to be 10 times worse to get back to a buyer's market, not even a crash, just to get to a buyer's market. So it's not coming anytime soon. Now, above $300,000, that's a whole different price point, but below 300 grand, I think we have less than a month of inventory on the market. That's how crazy hot it is below $300,000. It's less than a month. So we really need a 2008 style crash to even get back to a somewhat normal market. So that's all I got, AC. I feel like I was hogging the last 5 minutes there.
No, good information, man. Good information. You know, people really need to appreciate the market we're in. Like Houston really is, I mean, we take it for granted sometimes, you know. I mean, like I said, our median price is well below every other major city. So where else can you get in at that kind of price? Which means you have nowhere to go but up, right?
Right. Yeah.
You know, and we had a question here. It says, so it's a good choice to get your real estate license first, then wholesale, or do both to stay safe or covered. I don't have my license. I work with licensed realtors so we can get those listings like Jason was talking about. We realized we were leaving a lot of money on the table. You do not need your license, but it doesn't, like people back in the day used to say, oh, if you're going to wholesale, don't get your license, or, oh, you need your license. You can make it work either way, but you do leave money on the table if you're not working with a real estate agent or having your license of some sort to be able to pick those scraps up off the table, right? Does that make sense for you?
I think that question came after I made that statement about licensing and wholesaling. But yeah, I pretty much covered that. The reason why you guys want to have again, write this down. You got to have a power team, right? Attorneys, realtors, other wholesalers. Make sure you're building your power team, because these are the people that are going to help you build your book of business. Okay, and that's what's going to make you successful in this business. You're going to network with other real estate agents, right? Because we don't wholesale every single house that we lead that comes in. We are actually retailing those too. So a lot of those retail leads go to realtors, right? And we get again, a marketing fee. Legally, it's considered a marketing fee, guys. Remember, you can't get a referral. It's illegal. A realtor can lose their license if they do say that they gave you a referral. Right? It's all about getting educated. If you have any questions in regards to that, just reach out to myself or AC or even Jason, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys. But I don't have my license. It wasn't an ethics thing. I am rated by the Better Business Bureau. We're accredited. Whoop-de-da, right? We bought in, but we keep that accreditation, right? But that's just tell sellers that we are ethical. We are actually, you know, able to hold ground with a lot of these other guys, and that's what really separates us from the rinky-dink wholesaler. And I say, well, are they rated by the BBB, right? Or are they accredited, right? At the end of the day, people don't know, right? Sellers do not know the difference, right? And you have to. I'm going to backtrack a little bit. We didn't just buy into the BBB. You do have to somewhat earn it, right? And they reach out to you. You got to do what you got to do, but you got to hold that code of ethics whenever you're wholesaling too. But to answer that question again, right? You do not need a license in Texas to wholesale. It is recommended if you think that you're not going to be able to follow the ethics guideline, or you're scared, or you got kind of confused, or I mean, the information is out there. Once again, just reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to help you out.
Awesome, guys. Well, again, I want to thank y'all for being on here. I think there was a lot of great information that came out, and I appreciate y'all spending the time on here. Y'all all dropped a lot of nuggets. Eddie's not on here anymore, but he dropped a lot of good information too. So thanks, Ron. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate y'all for being on here.
Yeah,
Thank you for having us, man. Much appreciated. Thank you. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
You'll have a good night, guys. I'm going to do some housekeeping here, and I will go ahead and wrap it up.